I've reached the point where I have all the gear and no idea, but definitely all the gear. I still love a new gadget that I think can add some value to either my fly fishing or my fly tying. These are 5 things that I've either started using recently or I wished I'd found sooner, and they're well worth considering for 2026. By the way, my name's Lindsay and I make fly fishing and fly tying videos, hopefully to encourage and inspire you to give these hobbies a go. If you are already hooked, no pun intended, then there are lots of tips and tricks in the videos to help you catch more fish. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if you're heading into 2026 and you're looking to just add a small item to help upgrade your fly fishing or fly tying kit, then this video is for you. I love a gadget. I love to get new stuff, little bits and bobs that can just maybe enhance my fly fishing experience. So in this video we're going to take 5 items that's been kindly sent by Wading Waters and Uphaven Fly Fishing and see if they're any good for your kit. Okay, first up then is the Backcountry Skins waterproof socks. Now what these are designed for are wet wading. Now not much use at this time of the year, trust me. It's snowing outside and it was -5 when I took the dog out this morning. So you don't want to be going out wet wading in these conditions, but in the summertime, certainly the weather we had last year, these would have been ideal. Now I found another use for them this year. So my breathable waterproof waders are currently leaking in the right leg. I've tried everything. I've tried to aqua shear up all the seams to stop it. But during the Grayling Classic this year, I was finding that when I came out the water, my right foot was wet. And now, if you get wet in the winter time, it's going to ruin your day because your feet get cold, and when you're cold, you're not comfortable and you're not going to enjoy your fishing like you should. So I've been using these with my breathable waders, and my feet are bone dry at the end of the day, which has been a godsend, to be honest with you. Not only that, when I've been fishing the small still waters and I'm wearing wellies, my right welly, I don't know what it is. There must be a spike in my right foot, but the right welly is leaking as well, and I've been wearing these with my wellies when I've been small stillwater fishing, and again, my feet are bone dry at the end of the day. If your feet's dry and you've got another layer of socks on underneath these, you're going to be extremely comfortable. So that's the Skins Backcountry waterproof sock. Worth thinking about if you have the same kind of issues as I have, or you're one of these people that run hot and in the summer you don't want to be togging up with waders, you want to be getting out lighter and more mobile. These are ideal. Next up then is the Kling Mag Grab Rod Rack. Now that's a tongue twister if you're Scottish. Now what is it? It's a product from America, and I've got my rod here and you can see I've got it attached. Now this part, I'm just going to grab it and pull it off. So it doesn't attach to the rod per se permanently, but it attaches with an O-ring, and it's got a very powerful second part that's a magnet, and that clips onto the rod and you attach that to your vest or your shirt or a D-ring, whatever you would like to do. What I would say is, when you first use it, if you set it up properly, it just makes life so much easier. I have to be honest, when I first saw this, I was a little concerned that it was a bit of a gimmick and it wasn't going to be of any use. It may have well interfered with if I take this off, you can see how it looks. It's attached to your rod. You can attach it anywhere. It moves, the O-ring will move. Mine's is pretty firm because that's where I've placed it. But I thought this might affect the way that the rod fished. You know, Euro nymphing rods nowadays, they're very light, they're very sensitive, and having something on your rod like this, I was concerned that I would be like, no, I don't like it, and those concerns were not founded. I've got to be honest, once I started using it out on the river, I didn't even notice it was there until I needed it, and that's what the beauty of the thing is. So you attach this section to your pack or your shirt, whatever you're using, fly vest, and the magnet is super strong. And I'll just show you there like that. I've done a separate little video that I'll overlay while I'm speaking about this. So this is one of those products that I get sent a lot of different stuff, but this is an absolute star of the show for me. Now you can buy this section separately, and what I thought it would be ideal if I wanted to take a Euro nymphing rod and I also wanted to take a dry fly rod, I could have both with this on my pack, and then for changing rods over. Now I used to have another system that I used, but I didn't like it particularly. It was the O-Pro rod rest that goes onto your wading belt. Now what I found with that, it didn't sit vertical. It sat kind of horizontal or in between most of the time. And if I was turning round and I was near the riverbank, inevitably I was catching my rod tip on the reeds and various other things. Now when I've been using this, it's just been completely vertical, so you can imagine once it's hooked on, it holds on and the rod sits vertical. And don't be worried about it coming off. You do need to put a bit of force in to get this to release, and I've been over the moon with it. So I'm going to definitely order I think it comes in packs of 3. I'll need to check that out on the website, and I'll overlay that with some text. But it comes in packs of 3 and it sits on the rod like this. And if you've got multiple rods, you can add them to the various rods. The other thing that this does, which is quite handy, if you're of a certain age and you struggle to thread your flies, it's got a small groove that runs along the back of it, and you place your fly on, and there's various products very similar, and you slip your tippet onto it and you thread your fly, which is a great thing, especially if you're fishing those very small nymphs or dry flies, size 20s, 22s. The other thing it has is a small spike to clear the eyes of varnish. Now, I would be worried if you're having to use that, you're not tying your flies properly. So always remember to clear your eyes when you're tying your flies. But it's there. If you're using short bot flies, very often you will need a small spike to clear the eye. So that was the Mag Grab rod holder, and that's the first of the cling items that we're going to be looking at today. I have something a little later that is very special, and Ben Worley at Uphaven kindly's done a special job, and you'll see that shortly. So let's move on to the next item. Guys, before we move on to the next items, you know what's coming. I would like you just to take a moment to hit that like button, and if you're watching on your mobile phone, perhaps you could do me a massive favour and hype this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so. It does help the channel grow, and it encourages me to make more videos for you. That said, let's jump straight back in. Number 3 then, the Uphaven Thread Spool Storage Box. Now, if you're anything like me and you've been tying for a long time, you will find that you collect loads and loads of different spools. And I have a number of different ways. I got this one a few months back from Mike Johnston, and it's a fantastic, I really like it, but it does take up an awful lot of space on my room. And I've not got a big space here. It may look big in the videos, but it's not really big, especially when you've got as much fly tying shite as I have. Now, these boxes, they store multiple spools, and they're very cheap. And I like that. I like cheap, because I am cheap. And so on this one, I've started filling it up with wires. I'm going to put wire ribs, and I am going to buy a few more of these to have flosses in. I'm going to change the spool holder I've just shown you is going to be purely threads, and I'm going to get another couple of these. I'll put flosses in, various other ribbings and stuff like that. But this is ideal. It's a great price, and even when you take the lid off, the spools aren't going to fall out. It just keeps everything neat and tidy. Now, I'm a terrible fly tyer, and I don't manage my space particularly well. I'm really jealous of those guys that say, right, I'm going to tie 20 of these flies, and they get all their materials out to tie that one specific fly. I'm more I'll tie 3 and then I want to do something else because I'm bored. So I want to get into better habits this year, and to do that I'm going to get myself organised with my spools and tippets rather than just the run and gun technique I currently use. Number 4 then, and one probably dear to many of your hearts. As we get older in life, and I think it started happening to me around my late 40s, early 50s, your eyesight does start to deteriorate. There's nothing can be helped with that. You can either get some glasses, and there's various different options available. But number 4 is the magnifiers. Now, these are probably an innovation rather than a new product. So I have flip down glasses on my cap. You may have seen some in the videos when I'm using them, and I get on with them okay. They're not ideal. I much prefer proper polarized sunglasses that have the little magnifying lens. Now, I see fairly well anyway now because I did get lens replacement surgery a few years ago, but I still like to have the magnifiers for tying on small flies, and they're very handy. So the Magnifier fly, this is a different kind of concept. Now what I would say is, it's got a clip here, and you'll have seen the drop down ones on caps. Now this clip is straight, so when I first got it I thought, oh, I'll try it on my cap. But because I've got a bend in my cap, this didn't really suit it. It's more for clipping on to a shirt or a waistcoat like this. Now it folds away out the way, which is ideal, and it also has a couple of magnets, which if you're changing flies, you put the fly on the magnet, you adjust the lens to see where you want to go, and it's 3 times zoom really, so I can tie on a small fly, and then when I'm done I can push it away. Now the thing I like about it is that it goes anywhere. So regardless of where you are wanting to position if you're a lefty perhaps, or a right, it moves and it's great. When you don't want it, it tucks away. So it's just an option. Is it going to replace a good pair of Polaroid glasses with a prescription lens in the bottom half so you can see? No. But is it much cheaper than that option? Absolutely. So there we have the magnifiers. It might be an option for you. I would suggest that you have a look at it in action if you can, if it's possible, and if you want it on your cap, you need to get one of the American style flat peaks. But other than that, it'll clip onto a waistcoat, a shirt or a waterproof jacket. So we come to the last product, and it's another one from Kling. This is the Kling Mag Grab Boat Bar. Now it comes in quite a nice cardboard box, and I'm just going to get it out of the packet. Now you can, if you're a club or you're a fly fishing team with more than 4 anglers, get special engraving done on mine. Now I was very lucky that Ben kindly put my little logo on one side, and we've got the Uphaven fly fishing logo on the other side. So what is it? And I can appreciate you're looking at it thinking, well, it's just a chunk of metal, but what it does is it can be attached via, you'll see the back plate here, and I'm gonna make myself look stupid very shortly, but bear with me. There's a peel off thing so that the base plate sticks to a flat tackle box, for example, or if you fish from a boat, you can have this stuck to your boat seat, and it'll hold various bits and bobs. Now the reason that I said I'm going to look stupid in a minute is because the magnet is incredibly strong, and what I've done before I took it out of the box, I've pushed it up a bit so I can get some purchase, bear with me, on. Now when I first got it out of the box, I caught my finger in between that and this, and I had a blood blister for a week. So you can't see it now, it's healed, but super strong magnet. I'm going to be careful as I just tip it back on. Now before I do that, actually, it's got a soft foam, so when it hits that plate it's supposed to protect you, but I got jabbed just right in there. It was pretty painful, I've got to be honest. But yeah, super strong. Just, I don't want to do it again, but I'll just, yeah, be careful when you're doing that. So what you can do is, it has room for tools. Now strangely, when you put these on, and I put a pair of forceps on, that's really difficult to get off. It's solid, which I can't get my head around the science, but it's earth magnets, and this section here obviously is much harder. Now the other side, if you're in a hurry to change flies, you throw your fly onto the pad and it's secured. But when you go to pick this off, it comes off easy, which, yeah, some black magic voodoo going on there, like. But yeah, so there's the mag grab. Now if you are a competition fly fishing team, or you're perhaps part of a big club, you can speak to Ben about getting your club logo engraved on one side. Now I know a few clubs have already done it. The Soldier Palmers team have bought into this quite heavily, and we've all got the Soldier Palmer logo engraved on one side. Also the Military Veterans Club have got a similar sort of thing. It's not a cheap product. I've got to be honest, it's getting up near the £100 mark, and do you really need it? Probably not. You know, it just depends. If you're one of these people that are mad on fly fishing and you just want to have all the gadgets, then it's probably for you. You know, if your families, you get to a certain age as well, and I found out this Christmas, my kids were saying, well Dad, what do you want for Christmas? And I honestly couldn't think of anything that I really needed, and I ended up with some socks and a Toblerone, which is great. I like Toblerone, but you get to a certain point where you don't need another fly fishing rod. You just want some little bits, and something personalised actually like this was just ideal for me. So that is the 5 items. Now I did promise if you stayed to the end I would show you something else. So Wading Waters, they do various different products, and you should check their website out, because checking out people that sponsor the videos websites really help me get more sort of sponsorship, and people want me to show products, so it does help. So what I want to show you now is the Origin 2 fly reel. Now as you can see, it's come out the box, it's come out the protective neoprene pouch it comes with, and there's a good reason for that. Now when I was loaned this, because it is going back, I'm not keeping this reel, I was told just to spool it up and use it, but I'm a bit worried. If it's not going to be mine, I don't want to scratch it, and as you can see, it's got a lovely finish to it. It's got a beautiful blue spare spool. It's super thin. This is designed for Euro nymphing, of course. It weighs next to nothing. In fact, I can barely feel it in my hands. It's ridiculously light, and if you needed a spare spool, I'm not quite sure. Maybe you wanted to get one in a different colour. I know they are available. So I have played about with the drag, and it seems exceptional. I mean, it's a thing of beauty actually. It's got a sealed drag system, which if you're going to buy an expensive reel, get a sealed drag. Don't mess about with a click and paw. Might sound good, but it's not much practicality to that. So the Origin 2, this is for a 3, 4 and 5 weight. As you can see, it's a super thin diameter, and you control the tension with the little knob on the back here. A thing of beauty, and I'm sure Ben's going to get many years of service from this reel. So there we go, that's your bonus item. It could be an early Christmas present, it could be a very early Christmas present, or one of those special birthday presents. It's up to you, but I'll certainly leave the link in the description below. So was there any accessories that I didn't show you today that you think should be noteworthy. Let me know. I'm always keen to have a look at the new stuff that's coming to the market. Thanks very much for watching the video, and if you've enjoyed it, please leave it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't, you can leave it a thumbs down and tell me why in the comments section. I do get the odd person that doesn't like the videos, but I just get the thumbs down. I never get an explanation that I don't like you because you're Scottish or something like that. It's, you know, let me know what I'm doing wrong, and if I think it's reasonable, I'll try and correct it in future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the water.